and I would look to support the support of my fellow commissioners to seek a viable fiscal solution by calling for the sale of Cedar Haven to a qualified vendor with a reputation and high regard for quality care. We want to have quality care as the centerpiece, but we need to solve the fiscal challenge down there, which is enormous. Over 11 years, $20 million transferred, and we have a $12 million pension obligation which we owe to our pensioners who have retired, that they will be guaranteed their funds. And seeing no other viable alternative, I would like to consider hiring 2 vendors to give us proposals as to how they would proceed with such a sale. They have, both that I have in mind, have experiences in in Pennsylvania, and have successfully completed those kind of sales. And they are Susquehanna and one that CHR, who did our recent study, recommended, Senior Living and Investment Brokers. Those would be the 2 that I would like to have considered for a proposal to us for getting out RFPs to handle the sale of Cedar Haven.
And that's in the form of a motion. I'll second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor that's been made and seconded. This time we will entertain discussion.
I would like to see the 2 providers as identified by Commissioner Phillips appear next Wednesday during our work sessions in closed session to present their case for why Lebanon County and the county commissioners should choose their organization to perpetuate this sale. We've all seen the same numbers. We all know the pension situation. Additionally, sent the information to the union, and we were present, all of us were present yesterday afternoon for their reaction to that study. And I know that your hope was that they would welcome this study with open arms. My perception of what occurred here yesterday afternoon was more blame game and a smoke and mirrors activity that didn't lead me to believe, and I'm certain didn't lead you to believe, that the union would be on board to make all of the changes that we would have to do, even to make our operation a break-even operation. Timing of this sale is very important. Financial rates are at a point now where they can borrow money at low rates. The market is very active now. There are people organizations actively seeking nursing homes. Both the vendors that we've offered as possibilities, the one just recently sold Hearthstone Manor, Hearthstone Village to Juniper Village. I think, those of us that have concerns about the quality of the facility, that how Cedar Haven will continue in the future, those are 2 right here in our county that you can look at and see that they actually will be perpetuated at least the level that they have been in the past. If the Cedar Haven is sold to a private owner, it now becomes part of the tax rolls, and the county stands to gain, according to our present assessment, $42,412 in additional taxes. The South Lebanon Township, $26,034 in additional taxes. And the Cornwall-Lebanon School District, $236,700 in additional taxes. I ask that you join with us in this effort by voting positive to make this move, so that the 3 of us may work together, as we often do very well, to make things happen for the betterment of this county. So I make that plea.
Well, we'll start with our administrator, who has worked with us all of these years. For all of our employees, for all of our residents at Cedar Haven, I really feel that Cedar Haven is an asset to this community. And I know that we have more Medicaid beds there than we do in all of the other 11 nursing homes in the county combined. So it's a really big responsibility to take care of the people who can't afford to pay for nursing homes at top dollar. It's so important to let them know that they're valued and worthy, and their contributions to our community have been second to none. There are our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors, our mothers, our fathers. I've had relation, as many people have, at Cedar Haven. And when CHR did the report, I was looking for $1.5 million in savings. They came back with proposals of over $4.5 million in savings. Granted, it would be very tough on the union. But yesterday, when the union was here, I heard, respectfully, Commissioner, something different than what you heard. I heard that they were willing to work with us to make this work. And I know that it's the first time that we've sat down face to face. Usually we go through solicitors. So it was their chance to express to us their feelings from the past. And while I think we have to put the past behind us, I think it was very therapeutic to hear what their feelings were. I don't think we can dismiss that. So that being said, what I heard was that they would be willing to work with us. And I know that it would not be easy, but I also know that if there's a mind and a will, there is a way. And I really, again, respectfully, we're going to be taking this vote in just a minute or two. My heart, my mind, even the logic, I cannot vote for the sale of Cedar Haven. I just can't do it because I see a way. It's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that tunnel is long. But I believe that we can get to the other side if we all work together. So I would turn the appeal back and say, could you possibly look at that angle and change your mind on your vote?
Part of what we are basing this hanging on is the fact that we have this wonderful facility that provides all the great services, and then we want to entertain a plan that's going to gut that very program by laying off 53 of these valuable employees that are providing those quality services. Those things just don't make sense. We can't enter into a program like that and say we're doing best for Lebanon County, because that home won't be able to operate at the level that it operates now, less 53 employees. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, first of all, again, the union was quite aware of that number. Second of all, I don't think we would see 53 employees laid off because there are some positions that are currently empty. There are some people who would be transferred into a marketing department, and there would be some retirements because that just happens naturally. So I think that number would be significantly less. And when it comes to the funding, I think what I've seen in recent weeks, very recent weeks, that I haven't seen before, is a lobbying effort to raise the amount of payment for the Medicaid beds. Because it just doesn't make sense to me that Cedar Haven would be sold to a company who wants to make a profit when we have a very solid proposal to upgrade by $1,000 a bed for capital expenses and making all these other adjustments to make Cedar Haven solid and viable in the community for the future. And so it doesn't make sense if we're just looking to break even and a for-profit company is looking to make money, why we couldn't make money. And I think that maybe just this recent lobbying is telling me, well, if they get more money per bed, A, that's going to be very helpful, and B, there are 10 Medicare beds that they are proposing, and to cover their cost, it might go to 12 or something of that nature. So I really saw a workable plan.
So I don't see, I hear the words hope and those kind of things, but I just think we have, again, I think that ship has sailed. I care about the employees. Yeah, I do. You can make faces, but I've been down there many times as a volunteer. but we are trying to make the best of a bad situation. We care about the residents, and we care about our fellow Lebanon Countyans that are our taxpayers, and we're trying to come with the best solution. So though you may be cynical about what I'm saying, I'm as concerned about this as I can be. This is the most difficult decision that we'll probably have to make in our tenure. And yet we have to do those things. We can't abdicate our responsibility by ignoring the facts and hoping for the best. These are times that we are called to make these tough decisions, and that's why we're here.
Hey, I certainly acknowledge your perspective, and I know I'm not minority commissioner here, and that was the case in the past, and I've always spoken up and given my point of view, and that's what I've done today. And if I am overruled, I certainly am understanding of that, but at the same time, I do have my research and my interpretation of the data, and we may have to respectfully disagree.
Phillips, you just kind of badmouthed Litz when her watches occurred. I sat at these meetings long before you and Ames got here, and I have to back her up. Every year, she wanted to put money in the pension fund. The other two commissioners didn't want to do it. But I was here and I saw it. Every year, she had to argue with them. So I think you owe her an apology. Because it wasn't on her watch. It was on their watch, not on hers. You see the point I'm trying to... Was she supposed to beat him over the head? She was outruled every time. She's a lone Democrat. I sat here and I seen all of it. She actually tried, so you can't blame her.
Okay.
Number two, I mean, you're shortly going to do a vote here, right? And it's going to decide the future of Cedar Haven. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here we have today's agenda. Nowhere on there do I see anything about Cedar Haven. Nowhere. Any discussion? Nothing. You would have thought if you're going to make a decision today, this day of that magnitude, at least it would have been on the agenda so people would have known what's going on. There's nothing on there.
Would you like to answer why that's not on there?
I didn't put it on. I didn't know about for sure that there was going to be a vote today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you did not want it on the agenda.
I never said anything
And
like
all
that.
that, and our county. Litz and I were born and raised right here. We know the history of Lebanon County. We know the history of Cedar Haven. I've sat at these meetings from day one since this was first proposed. And I will say one thing, and it's going to go through, you're going to sell Cedar Haven. This is one of the darkest days in Lebanon County history. Because this is a dark day. This is a slap in the face to all the hardworking, blue-collar men and women of this county, and that's what it is. I'm so disappointed. Very seldom am I lost at words, but right now I'm angry. I mean, very, very angry. And like I said before, Phillips, you and Ames, you're never going to end up at Cedar Haven. I probably will. And that's my argument in the whole thing. I'm very disappointed, and I know a lot of other people are disappointed.
Two want to vote yes, then you own it. Step up and say, we think we're doing the right thing. But don't you dare point to Joe Ellen and say it was her fault and it was her problem. It was a Republican majority all those years. If you want to start to play politics, then let's be fair to Joe Ellen and let's be honest with the people of Lebanon County. Let's point to the people who created the problem, and it wasn't Joe Ellen. And you owe her an apology, sir.
All I was trying to do is say, we're here today with trying to find a solution to the financial challenges down there, trying to get her vote of yes to support what needs to be done today. That was my intention.
Are there any other comments, questions from the media, from the public in attendance? Last chance. Okay, then at this time, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of engaging two different firms to proceed with a sale of Cedar Haven, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aye. Motion carries.